The Missouri Department of Conservation and anglers have seen a noticeable decline in the numbers of large blue catfish at Truman and Lake of the Ozarks. We're proposing regulations that will provide protection for medium-sized fish so that we'll have more large fish for future generations, while still allowing anglers to take home plenty of blue catfish.
Well, I've been fishing the Lake of the Ozarks catfishing for, probably 50 years, every bit of it. The catfish population, to me, I haven't seen as many big ones as we used to. We used to catch a lot of large catfish on the Lake of the Ozarks.
We really care about the fish, and we want to return them to the water in the best possible condition that we can. We want these fish to survive our tournaments and continue to grow and breed. I've got an 8-year-old daughter. I want her to be able to go out someday and catch a 50-pound blue cat.
Well, one thing we know about catfish is that catfishing is very popular in Missouri. In fact, in a 2006 U.S. Fish and Wildlife survey, more anglers spent more time fishing for catfish than any other sport fish group. And we want to continue that strong tradition in Missouri. We also know that catfish grow very large, especially blue catfish. They can reach weights over 100 pounds. In fact, in 2010, the state record was set, and that fish was 130 pounds. But they grow slow. They grow large, but it takes them a while to get there. So those are some of the things we know about catfish. The numbers of large blue catfish have been declining at Lake of the Ozarks and Truman. We've been hearing that from anglers, from our conservation agents in the field for a number of years, actually as far back as the early 90s. And we've confirmed that in some surveys that have been done since then. As a part of the statewide catfish management plan, which we unveiled at the end of 2003, and really in response to this decline in the numbers of large blue catfish, MDC started a research project in 2003. And our goal was really to just look more closely at the blue catfish population to see if we could learn more about what was going on. And one of our key objectives was to determine what kind of angler harvest rates we actually had at Truman. And the way we did that is we did a reward tag study where we put 300 reward tags on blue catfish. They were $50 reward tags, and then we tracked the response, what anglers were turning in over the course of 5 years to document angler harvest rates. Here's what we found from our reward tag study on Truman. Of all of the blue catfish that we tagged, that were 24 inches and larger, which is about a 5-pound fish, 92% of those were gone from the lake within 5 years. Anglers harvested them. That's an incredibly high harvest rate and much higher than anything we've seen from around the country. And that's really our concern, and that's why these fish are not being able to grow to the larger sizes. Based on the public input that we've received over the years, angler comments, observations from our conservation agents, and the reward tag study that we accomplished, we want to reverse the decline in the numbers of large blue catfish. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to recommend regulations that will protect the intermediate size fish so that they can grow to larger sizes. Right now we have a statewide 5 daily limit on blue catfish. That 5 daily limit was implemented back in 2006. It was a statewide thing. It was not directed at any particular body of water. We also have, besides the statewide 5 daily limit, we have a special creel regulation in the no boating zone below Truman. What we're proposing is to go from that statewide 5 daily to 10 daily. Now let me explain why we're going from 5 to 10. We have a lot of blue catfish in both reservoirs that are 7 pounds and under. So we actually want anglers to take more of those fish because they're bordering on overabundant. So going from 5 to 10 makes sense because we can decrease competition, improve growth, but we still have to provide protection for those intermediate size fish, the medium size fish that are 7 to 15 pounds. So that's why we're implementing or recommending that we implement a slot length limit, a protected slot length limit, where there's an 8-inch size category that anglers will have to release back into the lake. So they get to take lots of fish home under 7 pounds and also fish over the slot limit, 1 or 2 over, But we need to protect those fish in the intermediate size ranges so they can grow. And right now, they're going out too quickly. So we're recommending an 8-inch protected slot length limit for blue catfish. The three options we're considering start at 24, 25, and 26 inches. By protecting blue catfish in this 8-inch slot, we expect to see a noticeable increase in the number of large blue catfish. We also want to provide anglers the opportunity to take 1 or 2 fish over the protected slot when they do catch larger fish. This new regulation would replace the current daily limits on both Lake of the Ozarks and Truman, all their tributaries, and it would replace the existing special catfish creel limits that we have in the no boating zone below Truman. We want to make sure that we evaluate this regulation if it does go into effect. We're already assessing the status of the population right now, and if the regulation does go forward, we will come back to the exact same kind of sampling in 7 or 8 years. We'll compare the results, and if it's not having the desired impact that we're looking for, we'll make adjustments at that time. Public input has been and will continue to be a very important part of the solution. Besides the survey information that we collected in 2002 and all of the information we got from our volunteer catfish creel anglers at Truman, we also collected some really good input from the public when we had 6 public meetings in 2003 when we unveiled our statewide catfish management plan. And one of our objectives in that plan was to implement new regulations at Truman and Lake of the Ozarks based on sampling and creel data. During 2010, MDC hosted 3 stakeholder meetings to discuss blue catfish regulations at these 2 reservoirs. And the majority of the people that attended were in favor of implementing protective regulations. They did make recommendations, some alternative regs to consider, and we have done that. And we have adjusted, and the end result are the recommendations that we're bringing forth today.
I think that if they can come up with a release, you know, a slot limit or length limit, weight limit, whatever, that's got to help things. And if we don't have that, the younger generation won't know what a big catfish is. And that would be a shame. I'd like to see them have more chances on catching larger catfish.
The state of Missouri is an excellent place for catching blue cats. They've got a number of reservoirs that have blue cats in it. We got the Missouri River here, the Mississippi River on the other side of the state. Excellent blue cat fishing in this state, and the Missouri Department of Conservation does an excellent job managing our resources.